Good morning, it's Torte de Lini. Let's talk about Viper, one of my favorite heroes. He's in a really good spot right now, and even I have found myself significantly winning more than usual. I'll actually show my win rate with this hero just real quickly. It's just, this hero has always been just a fantastic offlaner, but now with this recent patch and a lot of small but significant changes has really made the hero kind of a shell and a really interesting and appealing way. Right now on Dota 2 Pro Tracker, I think he's got, something like a 51% win rate, right? Let me double check that. And the hero has just become really dominating in recent patches and has really been kind of owning pretty much all lanes and subsequently send the game to end at 30 to 40 minutes wouldn't be that unusual for the hero. And it's actually really due to two, even I would say three things, but we're really going to talk about one particular change, one that actually really matters, and it's about Mage Slayer, and hence the title. So the secret sauce is Mage Slayer. Since 7.33, Viper has been kind of pushed aside for a lot of bigger, scarier heroes, right? For the past 8-9 months, the hero was not really all that popular because one, matches lasted way too long. They were like 42 minutes on average since the international. And that meant tankier, scarier heroes that want to play to the late game were much more popular. So Bristleback, Primal Beast, Centaur, you get what I mean. On top of that, the strength scaling, they changed strength scaling to health much better or much bigger. So it meant heroes that could really tank up and survive throughout all periods of the game and then stretching the game out to the end were much more desirable than, let's say, a Viper who's kind of a tempo setting hero. He kind of just wants to end the game at 30-42 minutes. He wants to kind of close it out there. So the previous meta that leaned towards tanky offlaners meant that Viper couldn't really compete with or even against them because he kind of just fell off. They would just shake off the damage he was doing eventually, and he would just be kind of this disgusting toxic turtle. So now the hero does have better late game scenario than before, especially at his level 25 talent, where he becomes universal. But he's still not really a late game centric hero, so be aware of that and be mindful of it. He plays on the tempo of creating a huge advantage in the mid game to kind of close out the match at 40 minutes maximum. In 7.35, two big changes were applied to Viper that really mattered, and I'll open that up for y'all real quick right here. The first one is that's a little bit of a spoiler, but the first one is that they changed Nether Toxin to no longer have break, and instead they gave Viper Strike to have the break component. So break on his ultimate and now the Nether Toxin means you can't break during the laning stage, which is kind of sometimes what people would pick up, right? They'd max out poison attack, get 1 point corrosive skin and 1 point Nether Toxin if you needed it, versus, let's say, a Juggernaut or a Sven. I mean, Sven's a bigger example, and then they wouldn't be able to cleave or do that extra damage because they were basically broken throughout the whole period of the game. I know I did that a lot in the off-laning stage, and even in the mid lane stage it's great as well. Mid lane section of the game. However, it does make laning, it does make post laning and his ultimate much more devastating in fights and ganks, since your break goes right through BKB, and that's just incredibly powerful, especially for a lot of core carry heroes like Phantom Assassin or even Slark or even Ursa. Ursa's a great example, who want to pop BKB to get rid of the break or get rid of Halberd, for example, and then deal their damage with the bonus of their passive abilities. Now with the break on Viper, it just kind of shuts them down for a very strong period of the game, reduces their attack speed, etc. Two, and this is the part we wanted to talk about, and I know you guys complain that I kind of take too long to get to the point, but two, Mage Slayer is the big winner here. Mage Slayer is just an incredible item. You're going to see it on a lot of heroes, and I'm going to mention them a little bit at the end. But number two is Mage Slayer, and even Shiva's Guard became incredibly powerful and synergistic or synergized on the hero because they both play to Viper's strengths. Viper's corrosive skin means great resistance to magic damage, as well as dealing back the damage to the enemy and slowing their attack. So Shiva's Guard obviously works well with Viper because it increases his spell damage. It does great slow. It has great stats, right? It gives armor to Viper, who generally needs it. And on top of that, it amplifies all his spell attacks. I think I talked about that already. Redundant. And then number 2 for Mage Slayer, which you can read here, they reduced the cost. They made it play really strong to his attack speed from 20 to 45. And more importantly, it gives that debuff with attack bonus. So let's take a look at we'll kind of break it down how it works for like a hero like Viper. So in 7.35, Mage Slayer separated from Bloodthorn and became its own thing. Talked about how it lost its attack damage. Its attack speed is about 45, so that's equal to an MKB, or it's actually better than an Assault Cuirass. I think the Assault Cuirass is like 30, right? On top of that, and this is the part that really matters, and people probably not considering it, is that the item now deals damage per second. So instead of the attack damage, it has damage per second, and that actually increases in damage with poison attack stacks. So you got to put on a significant amount of poison attack stacks, but once you have a significant amount of poison attack stacks, then the damage per second from the Mage Slayer is actually increasing significantly. And then lastly, it gives you magic resistance with the cloak of 25%. So corrosive skin effect is another 25%. Let's just look on it directly in this game here. This is my game. Like to show off for once in my life. Okay, so let's take a look at the Mage Slayer effect. You can just read the description. It's very simple. You get 25% resistance from 20 cloak to 25. You get the corrosive skin. It says 40% here, but it's actually 25, and then 15 from the talent at 15. So at level 15, you have 25 from Mage Slayer. You have 40 from the corrosive skin plus the talent. That's pretty crazy. That's 65%, and then you also have inherent magic resistance, so that brings you up to a beautiful 70%. 70% by level 17. That's insane. It just absolutely breaks the breaks the meta, and I hate using that such a superfluous term, but it actually breaks the meta. This patch has really been about, not people think it's a caster meta. It's not a caster meta, it's a magic meta, meaning people who don't even deal magic damage, any spell they deal will have a magic component to it that is now reduced thanks to Viper's, stacked up magic resistance. So it's just absolutely wild. I don't know if we get to see it here, but I mean, look at that. It's no damage. That's no damage at all. And you wipe them out instantly. And then the last component, which everybody knows about, is the Mage Slayer passive, which reduces incoming spell damage by 40% for 6 seconds. So really, you just have a fantastic time absolutely keeping opponents down, taking no damage. I think this Lina is going to ult me in about 2 seconds here. It's actually going to be quite funny. A basic example you would see is like Alina. It's going to be Alina Laguna Blade will deal, let's say, 900 damage, but instead will only deal something like 250. And it's actually quite hilarious to see that happen through time and time again with a hero like Viper. So Viper obviously loves the fact that he can reduce everyone's magic resistance. He loves the fact that he can just output hard with great attack speed with Mage Slayer. He loves the fact that he plays by range. So physical carries will have a hard time jumping him. He just Hurricane Pikes him back and then just throws everything at them. The Nether Toxin to reduce their attack speed. The Viper Strike to deal the break and the slow, and then the poison attack. So the hero is kind of really the best of 3 worlds, right? Range on top of slow, on top of magic attack. So if you don't have magic resistance on your team, you're in deep trouble. Goes right through BKB. So we're talking about magic again. On top of that, the second world is great magic resistance, 70% at 17. For sure he's going to get nerfed. And then the last component is that he punishes anyone through corrosive skin, which also reduces your attack speed, if you can believe it. What a mouthful. Yeah, so more and more, the ramifications of this is that more and more we're going to see Mage Slayer being picked up. It's convenient to buy, it plays well with a lot of different abilities, and it's a very well packaged item. It would actually not surprise me to see this item nerfed over time, as the item, it's kind of I don't know if I talked about this term already, but it's an all-in-one package. It's an all-in-one package item. A lot of heroes, some heroes and some items, they're just too good because they provide an all-in-one package. In the Silver Edge video, which if you guys haven't seen already, check it out. It's extensively unnecessarily long. In the Silver Edge video, we talked about how the previous Silver Edge form was kind of an all-in-one package. Mage Slayer is now an all-in-one package, and they think that, I don't know if developers considered it to be a nerf when they took it out of Bloodthorn, but it's now just incredibly great to pick up, and it's a great item. Even if it's a great item, especially if your team doesn't pick up things like Pipe, Glimmer, or any kind of magic resistance, because it's the only physical magic resistance item I think that people can buy. I think, in my head, I think. So yeah, you're gonna be seeing this item picked up for 3 big heroes right now. Viper's 1, Ember Spirit. If you haven't looked at Ember Spirit's recent builds, he picks up Mage Slayer first item, second item is Maelstrom, and then Slark. Slark used to pick up Mage Slayer. He would disassemble his Echo Saber, or he would keep his Echo Saber, now with Harpoon, and would build out Mage Slayer, and then he would use that to build into Bloodthorn. So it was like Diffusal, Echo Saber, Diffusal, Echo Saber, Aghanim Scepter, Mage Slayer or Shard into Bloodthorn. Now he drops the Echo Saber because it doesn't disassemble all that well, and he picks up Mage Slayer into Aghanim Scepter. So also very annoying for a hero like this. And yeah, definitely be on the lookout for design, because it's going to be a necessary pickup in this caster meta, or magic meta, I should say. So the short answer, wow, a little bit shorter than usual in my videos. So the short answer is, if you haven't been playing Viper Mage Slayer yet, give him a whirl. See if he suits your style. He's a very easy offlaner. Dominates the mid lane really well. He's particularly strong. And these recent items and patches have been benefiting him greatly. Yeah, that's it. Been reading your comments. See that maybe I'm not as concise as I could be. Trying to come off as if I'm not scripting this. So if you can believe it or not, the previous videos were scripted. They were scripted, but I had to kind of, I wouldn't say improv it, but kind of come across a little more natural. So this one is scripted as well, but I try to make it shorter by a few minutes. Have some more topics to talk about. I don't want to spoil them because you guys will look up the answers, but yeah, I'll try and put out 1 or 2 more by next week or this week. As always, make sure you guys like and subscribe, comment, tricks the algorithm that this is good content, so let's fight the AI on this, please. Be reading all your comments and leaving comments on them all, even the mean ones. Appreciate it. Catch you guys later. Have a great morning.